Hi everybody! Hi Tama! Welcome to our second video in our rereading A Song of Ice and Fire series. So last time, if you want to rewatch it, we did the prologue, very compelling prologue, and now this is the first chapter, first POV character chapter, and what we see here is Bran witnessing Gared's execution. Poor Gared escaped the White Walkers, escaped the others, just to be killed by humans.
Yeah.
And then on the way back home to Winterfell, in the north, they find the direwolves.
Yes.
So what was the first thing that caught your eye as you were rereading it?
Well, the letters were in the shape of English letters.
Incredible.
The hardest thing about history, about learning history, is that you already know the end.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, I mean, you can read a history book about World War II. Spoiler alert, the Nazi loses, there's a Holocaust, America, Soviet Union, whatever.
So we paid a price.
So our, method or something, it's kind of like an historical method.
When we reread what we know what's going to happen.
We know what's going to happen, so we're now more attentive to detail. We're trying to extract the foreshadowing and the themes, because George R. R. Martin, in our opinion at least, wrote it as an historical novel.
Right. So what jumped out of the text at first while you were reading it?
The fact that something is changing. There is a gloomness of everything. Everything is gloomy. It's scary.
It's scary. Something in the distance is scary. You don't know what's wrong, but something's wrong.
It feels like one of the last days of summer.
Right.
And we have to remember the seasons in A Song of Ice and Fire are very, very long.
Right.
And we are now at the point of emergence out of one of the longest summer in recorded history.
Summer.
Yeah.
So you have men in the story that have seen only one winter or maybe two winters, and Bran, this is the first winter for him.
He's a summer child.
For me, first of all, I like reading stories from the point of view of children, and I think he does that well. So there's a stark contrast between the way he was processing information, witnessing the execution. He didn't know what they were talking about, so it's unlike in the show where he says the White Walkers are here and then Bran refers. No, he didn't remember. It's like too complicated for his mind. And you contrast that with the cruelty of this beheading and the snow drinking the blood and Theon kicking Gared's head. Poor Gared. Just everything is so harsh and grim. And this is a boy. This is a young boy.
This entire scene is sort of like an initiation process.
Ooh.
Initiation process not only to the northern lifestyle, but also to the Starks, like initiation to be a Stark. Some people need to do some exams and get the diploma and become an adult and whatever, and some people
or have to have a bar mitzvah.
Or a bar mitzvah, right? And some people just need to watch a good beheading.
Yeah, without looking away, because Father will know. Father will know.
Lord Father.
Lord Father. Okay, so before we get into that, I think like most stories, when you start to read them, something changes at the beginning that drives the story forward. So even though they have not said winter is coming, we feel that winter is coming. Something is changing.
Yeah.
So let's go through the main characters. So Bran, he's 7. We said he's a summer child. He's growing up. He's drinking the world. He's looking everywhere. But also we have Jon there, and it's very nice to be reacquainted with this Jon.
Yeah. And we're not gonna talk about a lot about the show here, but still, we cannot avoid. At least me, I cannot avoid the images of the show. So
I can.
Jon.
So how does Jon
look? Keith
look?
Harington,
No, but not anymore.
But
so
not
now,
anymore. Not anymore.
Erase Keith Harington from your mind.
We must unlearn what we have learned.
Okay.
And this Jon, relearn. This Jon is a 14-year-old boy, and the way he's physically described is like a contrast to his half-brother Robb.
Right.
Robb is a masculine, beautiful, muscular, tough guy, very fast and strong. And Jon is like slim, quick. He's slender. He's like young. He's like a milk boy or something
and he has gray eyes.
He has gray eyes that are so gray they're almost black. But as Bran noticed, barely there is something that escapes his gaze.
Right. So does he know nothing? Jon
No.
Here
That's
they say
like,
no. He knows a lot.
yeah, that's like the outsider's gaze. You know, he's not part of the pack, but he is part of the pack.
Right. It's a recurring theme in this chapter. And you were saying before that he's only 14, but Bran says 14 in this world is an old hand at justice.
Yeah.
So he has seen many beheadings by the age of 14. So it's not like our age 14 emotionally, physically maybe. And of course there's Ned Stark over there looming over Bran like a giant.
Yes.
That's what's said, like the father, the archetypical father.
Yes, he's 35.
35.
That's my age.
I'm older than Ned Stark.
When we are recording this, I'm 35. What did I do, you know?
Were you ever lord of anything? Did you behead any people? No. Loser!
Only in video games. I ruled the world and conquered it in video games.
I won the FIFA World Cup. On the easy level.
Yeah. He's 35, but he probably looks like 50 or something like that, 55. He's a battle-hardened, very experienced. He's seen a lot, been through a lot. And the way Bran describes him is like he said, he's not my dad. He's Lord Father. So there is like a political title to him.
To your dad.
To your dad. I mean, it's not like, okay, dad says I love my dad, He's the head of the family. Not only like in a political, basic terms, like he's the head of the Starks, but also in terms of like his boy sees him like as a commander, as a lord.
So the family is a political unit.
The family is a political unit.
A de facto political unit.
The de facto and de jure even, the jure political unit, the most basic political unit there is. It's like a microcosmos for the rest of the political system. The king is the Lord Father of the realm. He gives away,
some of his land.
He provides the protection. He provides the food. He provides the jobs and whatever.
Job creator.
And the kingdom is identified with the person. Because even when Ned Stark beheads poor Gared, he says, in the name of Robert Baratheon,
of the house of Baratheon,
Father Baratheon, protector of the realm, 7 kingdoms,
of the Rhoynar and
the Rhoynar,
It's like a paragraph, a whole paragraph.
Yeah, it doesn't say in the name of justice or
Article 3
of this law, blah blah blah. You betrayed the state. You betrayed. No, you violated the king's law. The state is identified
It's the
with
king's
the
justice. It's the king's justice.
Yeah.
Right. I would say also that the North has taken the shape of Ned. It's grim. It's pessimistic. He talks about the old ways of doing things, right? We are different than the others, like the Southrons and stuff like that. And he explains his rationale for beheading, which is very Ned-like. Like, he is a deserter. A deserter is the most dangerous thing in the world because he has nothing to lose. Okay, it makes sense. It's not stupid, but it's so rigid. So you have to kill poor Gared, who ran away from the others, and of course explains why I should do the beheading myself. It's so much honor. You feel that this is an honorable family, very proud and strict.
Yeah. Theon is also there.
He's a dick.
He's a dick. He has this perpetual smile.
Annoying
smile. He's like, we know he's a warden of Ned Stark, so he's not a real Stark. He's a Greyjoy, but he's like part of the family.
Right, he's part of the family.
He's the one that gives Ned the sword before he beheads. So he's kind of like this. He's a henchman.
Not shunned.
No, he's not shunned. He's part of the pack. He's kind of part of the pack.
And he finds everything amusing, and he has trouble to control himself.
Yeah, he kicks the head.
He kicks the head, Theon. Did
like,
he pay for that?
When they encounter the direwolf, he's like, okay, let me kill them right now. Right. So he's like.
So I don't know if Ned did such a good job educating this guy compared to the other guys. I don't know. Maybe he should have been more strict with him.
Maybe, yeah.
You could say so. You can say that. Okay, so they also mention Mance Rayder, the king beyond the wall, and then you start to see what we're talking about in the last video about the prologue. This tension between myth and reality, what is true, what is not true. Like they say about the wildlings, several things that are actually true. Yeah. But as legends, that they steal women.
They steal women.
They do that.
They consort with giants.
They consort with giants. Come
they
on.
do that.
But they're thieves. And they also say that during the long night, they lay with the others to make terrible half-human children. That's Craster right there.
Craster, right?
Okay, so some foreshadowing for that.
Towards the end of the chapter, they go and they meet the direwolves. Jon and Robb
Right.
are like
riding ahead.
riding ahead. Last one to reach whatever
Right.
is whatever, rotten egg or whatever. This is the scene that maybe started the story.
Right, that's what he said.
Like George R. R. Martin said, he had this image in his mind of walking in the woods and founding this huge dire wolf with her pups and whatever.
Right.
That was a incredible scene.
And she's really huge.
She's huge. She's in the size of it's bigger than a pony, which is very very big.
It's incredible.
She's dead. A stag,
Right.
A
stag.
killed her. Yeah, a stag.
Which is the Baratheon stag.
Which is the Baratheon. So much symbolism in this scene, and because we know the ending, it's really amazing how you can learn so much about the characters and the story and the situation
In the future.
just from this scene. A stag kills the dire wolf.
The
Which is
first
weird.
time that the direwolf has been south of the wall for 200
years. 200 years. What
is happening.
Yeah.
I found it interesting because we know from later books that they have this saying the North remembers, but here the North does not remember that the direwolf is their sigil and their represents their house. It's Theon that tells
Yes.
them. Or is it
No,
Jon?
no, it's Jon.
It's Jon. Okay, he's not a Stark anyways. And his direwolf is starkly different than the others. It's ran away a bit, or was driven away. Of course, he's white and has red eyes. Is that like ice and fire inside him?
And Bran noticed that for some reason, Jon's pup, we can call him Ghost, he's the only one with his eyes open.
Ooh.
What's that supposed to mean?
What's that? You know everything, Jon Snow.
Yeah, what's that supposed to mean?
Okay, so we said...
You know who else was white with red eyes?
Who? Hitler?
No? Brynden Blackfire,
Ooh.
the three-eyed crow.
Who's that? I haven't read about him in this chapter.
He's also an albino with red eyes.
Just saying.
No,
Okay.
Another theme that is, popped up into my eyes. My eyes!
Did it hurt? I'd like themes to spring up slowly.
Yeah. So it springed up slowly and then shot into my eyes and it hurts. The predestination, like the social roles that you have in
Right.
this story. In a comforting conversation or like an optimistic conversation that Ned, the Lord Father, this sort of pep talk that he gives Bran. He says, "One day, my son, you will be the bannerman of Robb."
Right.
So it's like this predestination. Everybody has this role. Even
Right.
Bran, like the highest that he can aspire is to be, honorable knight serving his older brother just because he's his older brother.
Right.
And you will have a castle, and you will need to execute yourself one day, and
Execute other people.
other people one day, and you have to look them in the eyes, like. So
Right,
it's like
right,
he's 7, and already he knows where he's
Right.
going in life.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And actually, we failed to mention that in the prologue, they said that the reason that Waymar Royce was in the Night's Watch is because he was part of a big house with too many heirs.
Yeah, too many heirs.
So, whatever, if you don't even have a castle, maybe you'll just go to the Night's Watch just to do something honorable with your life.
That's significant in Bran's story because we know he wanted to be a Kingsguard. So his only way of like this social mobility is not serving his older brother, but serving a king,
Right.
and give up everything by doing that.
Maybe you can say that as any good first chapter would do, it gives a sense of predestination for the characters. Like Bran, what you're saying, like somebody tells him this is what you will be, but it feels wrong. It feels wrong. And Jon, you see that he will do bigger things. He has a conversation with Theon when he holds the pup, ghost, and Theon tells him, yours will die first, and he says, no, mine will die last, this is mine. So the foreshadowing Theon being unable to control himself. His predestination is for him to pay for that, and Rob being strong and proud and beautiful and already a man but not yet a man.
And Ned beheading somebody in the name of honor.
And
then he, spoiler alert, he will be beheaded because he insisted on honor.
Right.
What was that? That's us.
That was me. Sorry, guys. I'll continue the 2 video old tradition of me pointing out one single piece that I didn't like. Right here, there was a faint smell of corruption that clung like a woman's perfume.
Beautiful.
Come on.
Beautiful.
Come on.
Absolutely beautiful. Poetry.
Okay, so what was the best moment for you in the chapter?
Finding the direwolf.
Oh,
that was like all the stuff we said, like this foreshadowing, this symbolism, but also this sense of like, well, what the fuck just happened here? What is this huge creature that just appears here with 5 cubs and 6 cubs?
Right. Is it a good sign? Is it a bad sign?
It is a sign. It's automatically becomes a sign. This primitive society that searches, symbolism and signs and stuff with every weird stuff that happened. We can see that later with the comment, and so that was very, very. I felt like it wasn't the anchor of the chapter because it came last, but it's. When that's what propelled George R.R. Martin to like expand this huge story, just this mysterious scene.
Right.
That was I thought beautiful.
Right. I thought, even though it was the second thing, first of all, it's very interesting that there are 2 major events in this chapter, and the second one, even though it's the second one, it's more important than the first one, and then there's more layers in it, and you can bite right into it. Okay, so for me, the best part of this chapter is that you get a taste of the history, the incredible history and political structure of this realm. You hear about the Targaryens and the Baratheons and Mance Rayder beyond the wall and all these legends supposedly real and not real. And so you get a sense that this is truly epic, and it's very detached, right? So it's very real. You feel as if this world could exist. Like you were saying, you feel like you read history. This could very well be something that's happening. It's very different from what Martin says derisively is what Tolkien imitators write. There's no good guy. Even the good guys, they are, I don't know, depressing and depressed. And everything is just like super, it feels true, rings true.
Such a beautiful story.
Such a beautiful story. So,
I'm very happy that we rereading it.
Yep.
Especially because of the shows.
All right. Let's wrap it up. If you want to support us on Patreon and get many extra videos, a High Society video per month, a breaking down the Bible video per month, and you're going to try a new project of videos for patrons, and you'll see if you like it, and if you like it too, then you go on. So check it out, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.
Next time, Caitlin won.